Okay. Did you want us to start now?
Yeah, we good to go.
Okay. So we do have a little presentation we're going to share on screen here, just so you can follow through, and feel free to stop, ask questions anytime you have any. So we'll just go through this and tell you a little bit about St. John Ambulance. And just despite popular belief, we are called St. John Ambulance. We don't have any ambulances. So that is not what we do. We don't drive the ambulances anymore, although one time we did. And another popular belief is that we are just located in St. John, and we are not. So St. John Ambulance is a national organization. We are across the country, and that just happens to be our name and has been for a long, long time. So I'll let Linda get started with going through the presentation here.
So, well, you could introduce yourself too if you want.
Oh, yes, actually, that would be a good opportunity. So my name is Melissa Wasson. I am the business development and operations manager at St. John Ambulance. I've been here for about 10 years now. Love what I do. I love that we give back to our communities. It's a really great, fun organization to work and volunteer with.
Yes, my name is Linda Chesson. I'm the manager of training. I've been here for close to 4 years now. Yeah, it goes by fast. And again, I'm mirrored what Melissa just said. It's great part of an organization that really truly gives back to their community. We're just going to go through the presentation again, like Melissa mentioned. If there's any question, it's not a long presentation. It's just we needed to put everything together so we didn't miss anything. I don't think we did, but here we go. So our mission really is to enable Canadians to improve their health and safety and quality of life by providing training to the community service.
So a little bit about our history. We've got a lot. We go back over 900 years where our roots were traced back to, and they actually began operation in the Isles of Malta. So 900 years plus. We've been around for a long time. We are old. So we're also the oldest charitable humanitarian organization in the world. Our first operations in Canada was in Quebec City and Kingston, and that was in 1883. And then in 1896 is when St. John Ambulance began providing first aid and healthcare training in New Brunswick. So 1896, we've been in New Brunswick for a long time. And we've also, in this time, we have grown to become the leading provider of first aid training in the country. So we are at the top of the list from regulators. We are the leaders in first aid training, and we are proud to be so.
So we're again Canada's premier first aid training organization. So St. John Ambulance offers a variety of courses. Obviously, we start very at the bottom with the preschool right up to adult, and even we volunteer with elderly. So we help the We Can Help course generated for the preschool age, and then we have the medical first responder that goes out to the community and do all kinds of volunteer work, right? So the revenue generated from our training courses goes right back to our communities.
So we'll start with just giving you a little bit of an overview of each of our courses. We'll start at the bottom, not the bottom, but the youngest members of our communities that we touch. And that's through our We Can Help program. So this is actually a free program that is offered, can be to daycare, kindergarten classes. There are geared towards children who are unable to read just yet. So they come in coloring book form or in like a little comic book kind of kind of book. So really young, it teaches them how to develop safety habits for life, and the importance of that. They'll learn how they can help others and themselves, and how to identify situations that where they can handle on their own and when they can't, like how to call 911 kind of stuff. So this is a free program. Like I said, very popular in daycares, kindergarten classes. So if you have children in daycare and are interested in, you know, having us come to present this, by all means, you would just reach out to one of your coordinators at the daycare, and they could reach out to us, and we could put something like that on. Grandchildren, anything like that. The next one would be our home alone course. So it's a 2.5 hour course, and it is a Canadian Safety Council program. So this is designed for kids aged 10 to 12. So in New Brunswick, you have to be 12 years old to stay home alone by law. Sometimes you may have a parent who is just getting home right before the child does from school, or right after the child does get off the bus from school. So in that situation and this kind of scenarios, this program is really nice. So it's designed to give the the young children the skills and the knowledge to be safe and responsible when they're home alone for short periods. It helps them understand and how to prevent problems and deal with common situations. So it goes over, like, stranger danger and who to let in, what to do if someone knocks on the door, if the phone rings, how you would respond in those kind of scenarios. I did get to teach one of these courses myself, and it was really great, what you can teach these young children, just to give them the confidence for, that hour after school. Next up would be our babysitting courses, and you're typically getting like the 11-year-olds and up, because you have to be 12 to stay home or to babysit and stay home alone with other children. So 12 and up, but so they do begin this at 11 years old if they would like to prepare for that. It gives you the skills needed to care for babies, toddlers, and preschoolers. There are topics on a little bit on first aid, on safety, emergency situations, feeding, diaper changes, bathing, how to entertain, those kinds of things. So that's a really great program as well for those youth, generally from about 11 to 14 years old.
And then we have our first aid courses, and those varies. Our number one, the most popular one, of course, is the workplace standard first aid with CPR level C and AD. And this course it meets all the work safe New Brunswick rules and regulation, and it's also designed to give all participants the first aid that they need at home, work, or play. So this would be the course that you actually need. A lot of businesses in New Brunswick would need that course to be able to work, especially if you're by yourself. Um, and then we have the 6 hour session, which is the practice session that is kind of mandated, or it meets the Work Safe New Brunswick. So if you follow WorkSafe New Brunswick's rules and regulation, you need to take your workplace standard course, which is good. It's valid for 3 years, but in the meantime, like the year 2 and 3, you need to take a 6 hour practice, just so you practice what you've learned, right? And then you've got the emergency first aid and AD, first aid CPR and AD. That's the emergency. It's the workplace standard, but just in one day. So the workplace standard is 2 day. This is a 1 day. It's used. We have a lot of people. Let's say if you're just at home and you want to take a first aid course just to better your knowledge, this would be the course that you would take. Just it doesn't meet like WorkSafe New Brunswick as a full course, but it is an emergency first aid course.
Great one for
Then
new parents.
yeah, new parents. That's a great
Yeah.
one for new parents. Yeah. Yeah. We have a lot of new parents actually that takes that course. And a lot of people that take the course asked to be bumped up to the workplace standard course because it's a full course, right? So they often bump up to get the full course as well. And then we have the Marine Basic, which it means Transport Canada regulations. It is almost like the workplace standard course, but a little extra for marine part of it, right? And this is also a 2-day course. So you get the 2-day, 6-hour, 1 day, and then the 2-day course again.
We do have some specialty courses. Some of these are pretty neat.
Yeah.
One of the really popular ones is our pet first aid course. So we all love our pets and our furry 4-legged companions. You know, they've become family members now. So we want to look after them and take care of them just as we would our other 2-legged children. So it is an 8-hour first aid course, and it provides you with the opportunity to learn the skills necessary to help your pet in the event that there is an emergency, like an illness or an injury. So it's not a substitute for a veterinarian, but handling the situations, could definitely get you to the veterinarian, get you to that situation, or to know, what you would do. Or how to perform CPR, how to bandage a wound that is bleeding profusely, how to look after your pet as though you would, any other loved one. So that's a fun course we have. We do have mental health and wellness in the workplace. So this is offered virtually and in class. It's a 1-day peer support training designed to address and promote mental health and wellness and reduce the stigma in the workplace. So it does help people from all walks of life, help recognize how a coworker that they are experiencing a mental health issue by recognizing the signs and symptoms. So you gain the skill, the comfort, and the knowledge to better identify and then help someone who is going through that resilient state. We have a wilderness first aid course. So this is similar to your regular first aid course, except for this one is oftentimes done right in the wilderness, or we would bring in tools to use that you would find in the wilderness. So, when you're camping, hiking, you're not going to have a big splint with you. You're not going to have all these extra things to look after a wound or splint a broken leg. So this course teaches you how to do first aid in the environment that you may be in. So with using the tools around you, the tools and supplies that you have around you, to work and help save a life in that manner. So it's really fun. Like I said, a lot of places will do it right on site, right in the wilderness. We had someone who they camped out for a weekend. They provided this training and they had so much fun. Our instructor loved teaching it and the group just thoroughly enjoyed it. The next thing we have is our opioid poisoning response training. So this program helps recognize, react, and reverse an opioid poisoning. So after completing the course, you'll be able to recognize the stigma and harm reduction, and use harm reduction best practices in dealing with one of these situations. An opioid poisoning is not, it could be anybody. It could be your grandmother taking their medication wrong. It really truly is not, it can be anybody. Mm-hmm. So taking this course helps give the student the confidence to deal with the situation should it arise, and help. It also teaches you, it teaches you how to deliver nasal naloxone until help arrives. So you administer that with the potential of saving a life. And you get the nasal naloxone course or kit when you take one of these courses as well.
Yeah. I find that the mental health and the opioid poisoning works good together. Like if you guys are interested.
It's not a course. Yeah, it's not a course that is only, um, one might think it would be like shelters that would deal with
Yeah,
this kind
no.
of stuff. It's not. Like I said, it's a grandmother that took
Hmm.
a wrong medication or took it
Yeah.
more than once. It's a child who accidentally got into a medicine cabinet. It could be anybody. Um, anybody.
Plus, on that note, opioid really is like painkiller is an opioid. So people with severe pain, they'll take a painkiller and then they don't realize because the pain doesn't go away. Did I take my painkiller? No, I didn't. So they take another one, right? So um, our next one here is our advanced course. So we started with the pre-kindergarten age. We're going all the way to the advanced course now. So these courses are generally, there is a few that's 2 days, but most of them are like 5 days. So medical first responder is a 5-day course. That would be the course that you would take if you'd be wanting to volunteer out in the community. A lot of the medical first responder too are taken by firemen, firefighters. I'm just trying to think of other people that would take that course, but the
Rescue,
course,
like,
yeah, all kinds of
um,
rescuers. Because you
yeah.
go more in details, like you have the backboard. It is an awesome course. I took it, and I'm due to take it again because it's good for 3 years. Awesome course. Basic life support is geared for the healthcare people working in healthcare. So it's a BLS a CPR course for those who's working in healthcare. It teaches more of the technique with the CPR and the bag valve mask. Anybody going for nursing or they'll need this course. And this is a 2-day course actually. The Marine Advance is a 5-day course as well. It is um, mimicking the medical first responder, but with a twist with the Marine Advance, the Marine part component to it. That's exactly what it is. And it meets the Transport Canada regulation. It's also a 5 days. The instructor development program, that's the one that I wanted to talk to you a little bit more after. Um, you come to our facility, or most of the time you come to our facility, we train an individual to become an instructor for St. John Ambulance. So there's different areas that you can veer off after being an instructor, but you take a 40-hour course, and then you get, most of the time you get monitored. You can have either a co-teach just to get comfortable, and then you get monitored, so you deliver your course, and then you get your certification, and after that you can teach a public course at our location, or we could send you on a private course. There's different avenues that we can revisit after as well.
And then become a paid St. John
Yeah,
Ambulance instructor. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because though that's not volunteer, you teach for us, we pay you to teach for
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
Who might become the instructor? This is like people with medical background, or
No,
it's just
Anybody.
anybody,
any. Oh, I got it. So
anybody.
anybody might
Um,
get trained
yeah.
and go
Yeah.
through
If
the education.
if you think you
Awesome.
feel like if you're the type of person who wants to give back to your community, teach these life-saving skills, um, are outgoing, don't mind standing in front of a crowd and talking to people, those people, they would be great. It can really be anybody. It does not hurt if you have a medical background for sure, but
Oh
we
yeah.
give you all the material. We provide you with all the training to be able to teach these first aid courses.
I find
Awesome.
So,
also that there's some people that takes the course to be an instructor as because they're having a hard time. um I'm just referring to one at least that I remember, and she's super good now. That was her defeat, to be able to talk to people. She took the course. She came out of the course with confidence that she needed. She delivered the course, and she loves delivering our courses. So yeah.
So one of our big things we pride ourselves on is giving back to our communities. So one of the fundamental focuses of St. John Ambulance is our community service program and its volunteers. So our dedicated, compassionate, selfless volunteers are on the front lines serving our communities. These volunteers come from all walks of life. They provide first aid services at public events, therapeutic relief, and aid during emergencies. So when you take a course from St. John Ambulance and you pay for a course, this is what from here on, this is what those funds are going back to. So yes, you're paying for a course, you're getting the wonderful gift of being able to save a life, or the skill, sorry, not the gift, the skill of saving a life.
It is.
But when you do that through St. John Ambulance, this is what you're giving back to moving on from here.
So the opportunities for volunteering, there's different opportunities. So our number one would be, well, not our number one. I shouldn't even say that because they're all equal. Medical first responder, and we'll go in detail in each one of them. So we have medical first responder, therapy dog service, youth service, and emergency response service. So go ahead, Melissa.
This one's yours, Linda.
Oh, okay, sorry. For our volunteer program, the first one, of course, is the medical first responder. So we'll well-trained and well-equipped St. John Ambulance medical first responder volunteers. What happens is they go out to the community. So if you have an event in the community and you need, because you can't have an event without an ambulance there or medical first responder there, you reach out to us. We give the opportunity to any volunteers that we have trained, and then they go to your event completely free of charge, and they make sure that everybody's safe. If there's anybody that's hurt, they look after them till the 911 emergency comes in, if it's needed. The benefit of becoming a medical first responder volunteers, of course, community involvement is for me anyways, my number one reason. um, Advanced first aid and healthcare training experience, because you get all that training, right? You get all that experience out in the field. And then the skills, of course, the life skills to benefit personal career development. We have some people that come in the youth program, or even prior to that, goes through all our system, becomes a medical first responder, does a volunteer, and then at the end they become doctors and nurses. And so, yeah, it's a really great program. We've seen how it molds these young people right up to adulthood. Um, I can't say enough about the program. So
These are dedicated volunteers.
yeah,
And we do go, there is no charge, but it is on a
yeah,
we'll cover an event on a donation basis. So we will, we'll come to your organization and have our first aid providers there. And in turn, a donation to our program is what helps it keep going. So next up is our popular program. we won't call it the number one, but popular program is our therapy dog programs. So the program takes a volunteer and her dog into hospitals, senior residents, nursing homes. They're going to schools, universities, colleges, community centers, libraries to help children who have trouble reading. The children will read to the dogs, and it really helps them open up. So this is, again, completely volunteer based. We have a handler and their dog. These dogs are not trained by St. John Ambulance. They are simply well trained, great personality, love affection and attention. And these are dogs that you can pet. So they are going to these places to provide therapeutic relief. A couple weeks ago, I just attended one of these myself at a hospital on a palliative floor. The smiles, the what it does to the patients is truly amazing. Um, it just it really brightens their day. It's a really, but I hold this one close to my heart. It's a very special program and it does a lot of good. So if you yourself or someone you know has a dog and an outgoing handler and a well-behaved dog, you know, check out this our therapy dog program. We're always looking for volunteers here.
We don't train the dogs either. Like the dog comes to us all trained. So
They go through, they'll
yeah.
go through a process. We'll
Yeah.
evaluate the dog and see how they are around people and noises and wheelchairs and stuff like that. And the dogs are just, they're just a chill dog. They just have that personality, you know, that pleasing personality, and they're calm and they're, you know, and it's great putting them in those situations where they can really brighten someone's day or help a child learn to read who's struggling, or someone in a senior's home who hasn't seen a dog, who had a dog their whole life and hasn't seen one in a long time. It's a special program. I can't speak any higher about it. So
We have
go
lots of
on and
stories
on.
we could tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, I could go on and on. We can go to
Yeah.
the next slide.
Yeah. The next slide is our youth program. So like I mentioned before, we start right young. So we were missing the 14 to 19 when we did the presentation. So the 14 to 19-year-old would fall in this, which is a youth program. They meet once a week. Um, they meet and they take little courses, they have presentation, they have, it's just to keep them engaged, keep them um, learning new stuff, volunteering, so the participant can practice essential life and communication skills in a flexible youth directed learning, right? So they're among their peers, they they really bond together and they learn so much. We see them coming in, um, and every week they get something new that they're learning, right? So they stay involved, they stay engaged. Yeah, that's one of our. I like this program for the youth because there's nothing, there's not a lot of stuff out there for the 14 to 19. So this is a good program.
And we now have our emergency response program. So we have set up here in New Brunswick an emergency response unit. Just this last year it started. So this is to help with disaster relief and those kinds of things. So you'll see other people, you know, if Red Cross comes to mind all the time. You know, they're always there helping people with um, housing and stuff like that. But on these sites, there hasn't been anybody with there to help with the first aid side of things. So we now have an emergency response unit. We're actually doing a mock disaster this weekend, running through a practice this weekend on a mock disaster to help with these. So a lot of these are just our medical first responders that we have in the other program, but they can be someone who does not want to deal with the medical first responder, but wants to be part of this program, this emergency response program. So you know, if there's a flood or right, flood comes to mind because we
Yeah.
have the St. John River running through here.
Yeah.
So if there's a flood or a fire or any kind of disaster, and we could also be called out to a neighboring province as well to assist there. So some of the roles the volunteer may play here would be on-site emergency care, psychological support services. So therapy dog, and mental support. So we could have therapy dogs come to one of these as well if there's a disaster. Health services support. We have medical care in shelter. So we have tents that we would set up. Medical care during evacuation. So if someone needs something, we'll get it evacuated. And then community empowerment. So again, this is another core. This is if a natural or a human disaster strikes, these volunteers are there to ensure everybody is safe until, your 911 paramedics get there. And yeah, I think they're gonna play a really big role in disaster relief in our area.
One thing that we forgot to mention at the beginning too, just thinking about it now, when Melissa mentioned that we are not just located in St. John just because of our name, our location is spread out through New Brunswick. So our courses are scheduled every week to New Brunswick. So we have from Fredericton, Woodstock, St. Stephen, Grand Fall, Edmonton, Hamilton, Bathurst, all the way around New Brunswick. And some of the location have volunteer unit that we call it. Um, and those unit participants are mostly part of this emergency response program as well. So the units, there's one here, there's one in St. John. I do believe there's one still in Sussex right now.
Yeah.
So if you want to be part of just that unit, you can be part of that unit as well. Or if you want to be part of the emergency response program, you can be a part of that as well.
Yeah. So St. John has a very active unit. And they meet once a week. Like it's a great place to, I guess, if you're new to the area and don't know any people, it'd be a great environment to learn, to get to know people, and to, if this was up your alley and you were interested in healthcare and helping people and getting to around your community and stuff like that, this would be a great opportunity because they meet once a week. Sometimes they have pizza nights, they go over things, they have practice sessions. It's really great. So,
they also deliver some courses too. So
yeah. They stay updated and practice the stuff. So yeah.
So that's it for our presentation.
Thank you, ladies.
No problem. I will also add, I do want to also add, we didn't put here, but we also carry, we have all the first aid kits you could possibly need. We also, we also have a store as well. We sell first aid kits, first aid supplies, and defibrillators. So automatic external defibrillators as well, and all that fun stuff. So if anybody's ever looking for any of that stuff, for work or home or your vehicle, we have vehicle kits as well. You can find all that through us as well.
Awesome, great. Okay, guys, I think that we can start our question session. Just raise your hand if you have any question. By the time you will be thinking, I will ask girls a couple of questions from my list, just to give you time just to build the sentence.
Sure.
Okay, so I got a question from Nasir. He's asking, what is the difference between first aid basic training and CPR professional training for work?
So the difference between workplace standard first aid, which is a 2-day course, and the emergency first aid. That's his question, I do believe.
Yep. Yeah, I believe, yeah.
First, the days, so 2-day, 1 day, $120 and $90. They both are recognized by WorkSafe New Brunswick, but
only one meets regulation.
Yeah, workplace standard first aid with CPR level C and AED is a 2-day. So level C is it with a child. So they have the child and adult resuscitation in there.
Yep.
So yeah.
And so it is better to go with 2 days training for workplace, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because here in New Brunswick, what happens is, let's say you have a business of 15 employees, you have to have so many employees with the full course and some employees with 1-day course schedule all the time. So if something happens an accident happens and they go in, they're gonna look to see who was qualified in the full course and who was
It's the
not.
full, yeah,
Yeah,
it's the full course.
yeah.
So to meet those regulations, you have to have someone on site all times with a 2-day workplace standard first aid course. If you're working for federal government, federal has different regulations, and I can't speak on those. They're a little different. So they do, some of them only require you to have an emergency first aid, but 9 times out of 10, um, an employer would require you to have the 2-day. If the employer is not sure, they can always verify with Work Safe New Brunswick. It is in the Occupational Health and Safety Handbook. It is the 2-day workplace standard 16-hour course that is required. And to stay compliant with the workplace, it is the 6-hour practice that is required the years in between.
Okay. I think that we got another question, and okay, you already got back. Another question. Who is eligible for Home Alone program if I have a kid that is 9 years old? Are you flexible with ages, or it's like strictly starts with 10 years old?
No, 9 years old is perfect.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
can go with 9 years. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
We just have to advise you. Now, you're the parent, but we do have to advise you. New Brunswick has the rule of, they do have rules set in place. We would advise you to go out and look at those for leaving your children home alone, but a 9-year-old can definitely take that course.
Do we receive certificate by the end of the course? Home Alone? They're asking if they're receiving certificate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Volunteering opportunities, how does it work? Where should I go? And how to apply?
You can provide us with your email and we will send all that information out. You can also go to our website at www.sja.ca, and there is a section there on volunteering. There's a form you can fill out that will come back to us.
Okay, so they can go to the official website. Awesome. Because I got a couple of people are asking about like volunteering opportunity about in our center, and I was like, there is a lot of other volunteering opportunities. And they're like, where? And I was like, okay, I'll just figure out, and I'll just let you know like all places you can volunteer to.
Yeah.
So I will just let them know they can apply for St. John ambulance as well. And I believe that's it. That's it.
Melissa,
I believe that we have. Yeah, we got Olena. Please, Olena, feel free to ask the question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Ladies, thank you very much for the information provided. It's amazing to know how important work you do. Thanks a lot for that. My question is like, does your organization has any linkage to the standard ambulance that is usually people call for example, heart problem, so leg broken, whatever. So no, these are two different, because like when I've heard like ambulance, I thought that ambulance it's about, calling for emergency, let's say.
Yes.
And this is like you are doing totally different things, right?
We are. So a long time ago, when we first started, that is what St. John Ambulance was. We were the ambulance services. We were going onto the battlefields and pulling people from the battlefields. We were helping in those areas. And across the country, St. John Ambulance does do different things. It's different in certain areas, but our main focus here in Canada is first aid training now.
And we used to be here in New Brunswick.
And we used to have the ambulances here in New Brunswick as well. They did become government regulated, so they became a government entity. So we no longer do that, and we focus on first aid training. So I know we share a name, but we don't. They are Ambulance NB, so Ambulance New Brunswick, and we are St. John Ambulance.
I think it was in 2009 that we sold that part, right?
Well, no, we did have a school. We did teach the paramedics for a
Yeah.
while, but we still didn't run the ambulances. All we did was we taught the first aid. We never had anything to do. We stopped working with the ambulance, I believe, when it came regulated through the,
Yeah.
how we say, but it was our name first.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it used to be run by volunteers actually.
Yeah.
In different
So,
communities.
we're 900 and over 900 years old. They're not changing our name now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
thank you very much for clarification. I will now
no problem.
differentiate. Thanks a lot.
Okay, guys, any questions? Okay, nothing by now.
If you have any question later on, just
Yeah.
give us a call.
You have
send us
my
an
email.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Carol. Thank you very much. Thank you for this useful information. So now we know a bunch of programs. Oh my, we need to digest all this information so we can start, promoting among our clients because they are asking a lot. Like,
Yeah.
should I apply for this for my workplace? And I was like, I don't know, actually, you can get consulted with one of the employees there. And they're like, oh, it's easy with you. Like, you can understand my language. Can you translate? And I was like, no, I will be referring them to you so you can consult them yourself.
That-
Thank you. Okay, Ismail, you got a question? Go ahead, Ismail.
Her mic is off.
Ismail, are you copy? Yeah.
How are you? Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Good.
Good.
Could you hear me very well?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the content of your presentation. It was very interesting. I feel very encouraged to apply for to settle in St. John City because I like it and I like the people that live there. They are very welcoming, and it was the choice that I made because I'm planning to settle in the next upcoming month. So I would like just to know many information, some information about the city, if there are many incubators, entrepreneurship incubators there, because I work as an incubator manager, and I have many experiences, health experiences in this field, and I'd like to know if there are many incubators dedicated for the entrepreneurship or for youth. They work in technological field or they work as holders of projects or innovative projects also.
Well, I'm Dominic. I'm a settlement advisor with the Newcomers Centre. I think I can better handle that rather than doing it in this session itself. I'm going to put my email into the chat right now so you can get in contact with me.
Yeah. Dominic is the best to address the
Okay.
question. Thank you, Ismail. Okay, thank you, ladies. Thank you very
Okay, thank
much.
you so much.
We will be seeing you soon. So we'll be having another session soon.
Yes,
Good day.
Betsy. All right.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Stay warm.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.